Welcome back to Once Upon a Pod.
We're back with another fun-filled adventure, and we cannot wait to dive in.
And today, our story is about a bold, vibrant twist on Shakespeare's most tragic tale. Except this time, Juliet is rewriting the end of her story, and we are so here for it.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, spoiler alert, if you have not seen & Juliet yet, and you want to go in with a fresh mind, this is your cue to push pause and come back after you've seen it, because we're diving all in. Plot twists, music, costumes, nothing is off limits in this episode.
And now that we've warned you, so get out, you people that don't want to know. All right, guess what?
We reunited in person finally after 4 whole years.
Yes, it was amazing. It was seriously surreal. So much has changed, and yet it felt like no time has passed at all.
I agree. So naturally, we had to celebrate the best way we knew how by heading straight to the theater.
Yeah, and we had some pretty awesome & Juliet tickets, which neither of us had seen that show before. And now we're pulling back the curtain to give you an inside scoop, our thoughts, reactions, favorite moments, and whether it's worth the hype.
Absolutely. So let's step into a sparkly, sass-filled version of Verona and talk all things Juliet. And maybe a little bit about Romeo, too.
Okay, so going into the show, I'll admit, I was a bit skeptical. I hadn't heard a whole lot about it. I knew it was a jukebox musical, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because one of my favorite musicals is Moulin Rouge, and that's jukebox. So not every show can pull it off. I didn't know what to expect from a reimagined Juliet who sings pop songs, you know?
Yeah, I had zero idea what this show was about. The only thing I knew about it was that Charlie D'Amelio has been dancing on it in Broadway for a little bit. But that was really it. Yeah, I had never seen it or really knew much about it. I didn't even know that it was called a jukebox musical. I didn't know that that's even what it was called. But from the first number, I was like, okay, this is gonna be epic. This is gonna be so fun.
Yeah, it really surprised me. The more it went on, the more I found myself getting totally drawn in. The cast was phenomenal. They brought so much energy, and their chemistry was amazing. I do think the plot took a little while to get somewhere. It was literally the last 20 minutes of the show that I felt like it really got juicy. I don't know, but it was a really, really fun, entertaining show.
Yeah, I agree. I also really enjoyed, and probably one of my favorite things about it was how they added William Shakespeare and Anne Hathaway into the whole plot of the story. I really enjoyed, because it made you feel like you were actually a part of it. They really engaged the cast, or not the cast, the audience. And really just made you feel like you were a part of the rewriting of that. And I really just liked that they were literally rewriting it on stage as the show was going, as it was happening. It was all super fun to me.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
No, me
at
neither.
all, actually. I was not expecting Shakespeare to be a character in the musical. So I thought that was very, very clever on their part, and not something I have seen before in a show.
Yeah.
So I was a big fan of that.
Absolutely.
It made it stand out that much more.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Well, and I really liked how the story, like you said, it took a while for it to grow. And once we finally realized, the story is more so about William Shakespeare and Anne Hathaway and their drama and their life that's happening, right? Then, the rest of the, it's not really about Romeo and Juliet. They're rewriting this because they're fighting. You know what I mean? So I feel like that was super unexpected. But I also have to
Yeah.
say, this show was so funny. I don't think I've seen a show this funny. I laughed
Yeah.
so much throughout the entirety of this show.
Absolutely.
And there were times where I'm pretty sure I was the only one laughing because it might have went over other people's heads. Like, I literally was dying at some
You were
point.
laughing a lot.
I was dying. It was so funny. I was like, oh yeah, that was good. And I like the good dry comedy, you know, and there was a lot of that. There was a lot of like one-liners or blank stares or like that type of thing. And I really loved a lot of that.
A lot of like, what do they call that? Like physical comedy? You know what I'm talking
Flap
about?
comedy. Yeah, that's my favorite thing.
Yeah, and just so much, even just with her facial expressions and their movements and stuff. And it's like,
Yes.
I love that. Love that.
Yeah, like,
but yeah.
even just Romeo's entrance.
Oh
I've
my.
gotten to it. His entrance, I literally died laughing at that. I'm pretty sure I was the
know.
only person laughing.
That, I remember you were cracking up.
I thought it was
But that
so
was
funny.
super clever. Yeah. Yeah. I was so pleasantly surprised by how much I laughed in that show.
Yeah.
And so I almost think that's probably why I liked it so much,
Yeah.
as much as I did.
Absolutely.
Is because it is so funny.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
just so entertaining. It just
Absolutely.
makes you smile, you know?
Absolutely.
It may not have a whole lot of depth to it. Like we said,
Mm-hmm.
it takes a while for us to really understand the conflict and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it's entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you laugh. It makes you smile.
Yeah. Well, and I think,
You know, job well done.
then I think once we finally realized what the plot was and how it's more so
Right.
issues about them, it all kind of just like clicked together. You're like, ah, no wonder she's wanting to rewrite this story of Juliet because she wants to
Right.
rewrite her story, and
Exactly.
they're having their so it all just like kind of clicked and made sense of like, of course
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway wants to change, you know, what this story is about because she's wanting to change something within their marriage and their relationship,
Right.
you know. So yeah, I really
Yeah.
liked it.
Yeah. I thought that was super clever how they did that.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're not expecting that. You're like, oh, well, you know, the whole story is about Juliet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, actually.
Actually, it's
it's
not.
not.
Actually, we're not.
So, yeah, that was.
Sorry, I had to make a Disney reference there.
As we were just talking about this morning, we say different lines and we start going into song immediately.
Yeah, so sorry.
Perfect. Yeah, so I thought that was very
Yeah.
creative how they tied all of that
Absolutely.
in and all of that. So
Yeah.
But so let's talk about some costumes
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
sets and all that pretty stuff.
Absolutely.
The costumes were totally a vibe.
Yeah.
Like very historical silhouettes, but like modernized with bright colors, and they were wearing sneakers, which
Yeah.
was so cute. Like it was like, yeah, I thought it was very, very clever how they did that. Just fun, but also kept it to like the time period. I
Yeah,
guess. So,
absolutely. I think my favorite part, like I loved the colors, I loved how it looked, but I loved how everybody was wearing sneakers. Like
Yeah.
it made it, I don't know why, but that choice just made everything seem super current and cool because it took this Renaissance, you know, story, but then you're pairing it with all these pop songs that everybody wants to sing along to, which newsflash, don't do it unless they actually tell you to sing along.
yeah, please don't sing in the
Please don't
theater
sing
when
in
you're
the-
not on the stage.
Unless,
please don't be that
it's
person.
the ending song and they say to sing along
Unless
with
it's-
you.
exactly.
Like, anyway,
Exactly.
small little tangent over.
100% agree.
But I do love how they like had all these, you know, really pretty Renaissance looks, but then all of a sudden they're wearing sneakers because they're dancing to
Yeah.
pop songs. And I think it was just
Right.
a really good look. And I just loved how they updated Juliet's look. They just really, I mean, they made her look like the star. I mean, she obviously is, but the costumes were just super good. I really liked it.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought they were cute for sure, but I could have gone for some more, honestly, some like more costume changes. I'm just one of those people that I love to see things evolve and change and stuff. So like if it's a show, like I remember when I saw what's it called? Crap. Brain fart. Hold on a second. A chorus line.
Ah,
Have you ever seen a chorus line?
no.
So I remember I went to go see that at Playhouse in the Park. and I didn't know anything about it. And it literally takes place, the entire show is like one scene. And it's they're auditioning for a show. So they all wear the same costumes, the same backdrop, everything. And I'm like sitting there anticipating a change. And it never comes. And I was like, and then it was over, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just like threw me off. I was like, I like it when stuff changes.
I was gonna say, I feel like Juliet, her character changed outfits the most, and Anne Hathaway changed outfits the most. And
yeah,
I feel like those were the only two characters that like consistently changed outfits. I agree. There was only a handful of characters that you're like, oh, there's a costume change. Oh, different setting, different theme. So I totally understand that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it would have been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like seeing different costumes and seeing what creativity,
absolutely,
people come up with.
Absolutely. Well, and the set. I mean, let's talk about that a little bit. Yeah, I had never experienced a show like that. I felt like, I mean, I don't know. I personally really enjoyed it, but I wasn't expecting a ton. I mean, the last show that I saw was Hadestown, and it's literally the same set the entire time. Like, they don't, you know what I mean? Like, nothing changes.
Yeah, they don't change.
Nothing comes in and out. I kind of almost like that a little bit because it leaves a lot for the imagination. So I kind of felt like, and Juliet, it was kind of similar vibes in that sense. Not a ton changed. But there was a lot of things that they would bring in onto the stage or like have come down from the ceiling. And I thought that was super effective. Like, I really liked the floating moon and the chandelier. And I mean, we already talked about it, but Romeo's dramatic entrance from the ceiling, I died laughing at that.
His name coming down while he's like
it's
attached
just so
to it.
funny.
So
I literally
funny.
could not. It was so funny. But I don't know. I just felt like I was watching a concert, and I felt like it was a really fun vibe. And I feel like that was kind of like the point of this show. Like, they just wanted it to be fun and not like, I don't know. I liked it. What were your thoughts on the set? Yeah, I'm blanking on words. Sorry.
It's a day.
I know.
It's been a day. But yeah, so I mean, it was fine. It was fine. I found myself comparing this show a lot to Moulin Rouge because of some of the similarities that they have. Like, they're both jukebox musicals. They're both like not current time periods. They're like, the Renaissance, and then Moulin Rouge is like, I don't know what time period that's supposed to be, like
I don't know,
early
either.
1900s or something like that. I can't remember. But anyway, so their costumes are bright. There's a lot of bright colors and sparkles and glitz and glam and stuff like that. So I don't know. I just found myself comparing it the whole time. And one thing that Moulin Rouge, I think it does a phenomenal job out of it, is their sets. And they have quite a few changes, and they're all so spectacular and beautiful. So I was just kind of like, with Anne Juliet, I was like, oh, that's it, like, I know, I don't know, that's just what I kept going back to. And obviously it can't be exactly the same, but but that's just like,
well, did you feel like the set just wasn't matching the vibes of the costumes that much? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the costumes were super like, in your face, but then like the set lacked a little bit. Do you feel that way?
Yeah,
or no?
I could see that for sure.
I just didn't know.
The costumes were, the costumes I feel like were more vibrant and exciting than the set.
I was gonna say, I wonder if they did that intentionally. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wonder if they made the set not be as overwhelming because they really wanted the costumes to like shine. You know what I mean? Almost be a part of the set. You know what I mean? I wonder if that was an intentional thing that they did.
Yeah, I don't know. But another comparison was, like you were saying before, all the stuff that they had that came down from the ceiling, like
you said that happened in Moulin Rouge a lot too.
They do a lot of stuff like that in Moulin Rouge too. So like same type of stuff gave me very, very similar vibes, which I love that stuff. I think that's so fun and clever. But yeah, and I loved how they did the Romeo and Juliet sign.
Yeah, I did too.
So they like when they were building
Yeah.
it at the at the very beginning before the show started, and they're like, no, get Romeo out of here, this is and Juliet. And then Romeo makes his entrance and comes down Romeo. But yeah, I thought that was really cute. I really loved how they did that. But yeah, the sets were just, not crazy for me or anything, but
Yeah.
that's okay. It doesn't, need to be, but I feel like I was hoping for something a little more sparkly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah, I really enjoyed. I mean, it was very much so like it caught your attention, and I think that was the point of the show. You know what I mean? Like they wanted something that caught your attention, that kept you engaged, and I really feel like they did a good job with like having things on stage and having costumes on stage that really kept you engaged. Like there was something to look at every single scene. You know what I mean? And I felt like that was super cool.
yeah. Yeah. All right. So now let's move on to characters.
Yeah.
So favorite characters, hands down, Shakespeare.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I wouldn't have guessed that he would be my favorite character, but he did such a good job.
Yeah,
he was so funny. And his voice was immaculate. I loved his voice. And we had Corey, I don't know how to say his last name.
Mock? Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Mach.
Yeah.
But he played Shakespeare. I loved him. I thought he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I 100% prefer his voice over the recording voice.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Any day.
He was phenomenal.
He was just like
he was so good.
butter.
Yeah.
Like
agree.
so good.
I agree. Yeah, he crushed
his comedic timing was fantastic.
Yeah.
I just loved everything about him.
Oh yeah.
He was so good.
He was phenomenal. I agree. Shakespeare was for sure one of the he stole the show for me. I really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like that might be like a hot take because I feel like the point of it is supposed to be like Anne Hathaway is stealing the show. Like she's supposed to be like main character, kind of in a sense.
Yeah.
But Shakespeare, man, Corey did a phenomenal job and he really crushed it. But I also want to give a shout out to the woman who played Juliet, was Rachel Simone Webb. Oh my gosh, her voice was so incredible. I don't think I have ever heard a leading lady with that much of a range. You know what I mean? Like, at least for the shows that I've seen. I know there are ladies that have crazy ranges, but for the shows that I have seen, she was phenomenal. I mean, she could go from super low to super high, and she just crushed it. She was so good.
Yes, I agree. She was very, very good. Again, I think I'd rather listen to her.
I agree.
Than the recording.
I agree.
Honestly, I think the entire cast, I'd rather listen. The one we saw, I'd rather listen to them.
Yeah.
And yeah, so she had so much control over her voice, and it's just very powerful.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
She carried every scene she was in with so much power and grace, and her performance was really, really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So good.
Yeah, and we want to give a shout out to the woman who played Anne Hathaway. She was phenomenal. She did a great job. Her name was Teal Wicks. She did so good. She literally had such a presence on stage, and she really her voice also was just super good. She was so funny. Her timing was wonderful. There was at one point towards the end of the show, the guy who was playing Romeo's mic stopped working, or it was turned down.
Wait, it did?
Yeah, you didn't remember that?
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, so it was turned down, and he was supposed to say something, and her timing, she just kind of looked at him and was like, looked and waited a little bit to see if the mic would come back, and she's like, what? Like, she just played it into the character so well, and so he was able to say his line again, and the mic was back on, and everything was fine. But I was like,
how did I not catch that?
I don't know, but I was like, oh, okay.
What part was that?
It was towards the end. I can't remember when, but it was towards the end.
That's crazy.
He had like a one line and, whatever. But I thought she just did super good. But anyway, speaking of Romeo.
Yeah. Oh my God. I loved Romeo.
He was so funny.
I thought he was so good. Michael Canu.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry if we're butchering these names, but he was so good. Again, I would much prefer to listen to him sing than anything
Oh,
on
he was so
the
good.
recording. I thought his voice was phenomenal, and he's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
The whole Romeo character was just so funny, and we weren't expecting him to show up in the first place.
Yeah, that was a total plot twist.
I really wasn't even expecting Romeo to be in it at all.
Yeah, I agree.
And then his appearance, he comes down, from the ceiling with this big Romeo sign, and he's like singing "It's My Life" by Bon Jovi, and it's now or never. I just want to live forever.
Yeah,
I just want to live while I'm alive. It's like, that's hilarious.
Yes, it's so good.
Because he was dead.
Yes, I know.
So I thought
funny.
that was so clever. That whole scene cracked
Oh
me
my
up
gosh,
because
I was
it's
laughing
like-
so hardcore. Oh, and what was the one line too that he was like, "I am a douche" or something, like he was. Remember that?
Oh.
He was like basically
Yeah.
just like, "I am," and everybody was laughing so hard. It was so funny.
I loved him.
I didn't know what to expect when Romeo came in, but he brought such a
Yeah.
fun and chaotic energy with everything.
I agree.
So
I
good.
enjoyed the second half of the show.
Oh,
once
yeah.
he,
Once he was
so
in,
much more
yes.
after he showed up.
Yes.
So I thought he was so funny, and
Yes.
and then when he joins the Boys
The
band,
boys.
that whole part was so funny too.
It was
clever.
so good.
And they're like, and Shakespeare comes out, and he's like, "Oh, look, the brothers are home. We can
Yeah.
start up the boys band again." And they're just wearing these
Ridiculous
stupid
outfits.
disguises,
Yes.
just hats and sunglasses, and
And it throws
Oh
them
my
off.
gosh,
It was
they're
so funny.
just
Well, and I feel like all the characters,
hilarious.
they just all did so well. Their chemistry was just on point. Like you can really tell
Yeah.
that group of people that we had on our cast, was so good. And also too, I don't remember their names, but the nurse and what was his name? Lance. Yes, they did so good. They were so funny too. Like they all just had great chemistry and just did really great
Yeah.
the entire show.
yeah, that whole thing I was so not sure about because I thought it was so random. It was cute,
Yeah.
it was funny, I'll give you that, but it was just kind of like, the nurse is, with Juliet and her friends and going to Paris, and of all places, they're going from Verona to Paris, and it just so happens they run into her long lost love.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
What are the odds of that happening? And then it's like, oh my gosh, I've been in love with you forever, and it's like, you didn't even remember her until she just like showed up here in Paris. Like,
Yeah,
what
right.
are you talking about?
Yes.
I don't know. I thought that whole sequence was just kind of
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not needed for the plot.
Yeah, I agree.
But again, it did add that extra factor
Yeah.
of fun and laughter
Absolutely.
to the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
So.
I was going to say, let's talk some about like some comparisons that we have and like our ratings a little bit. I want to
Yeah.
dig into that, and then we'll probably talk some more about our favorite scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, in terms of how this stacks up to some of my favorites, like I mentioned, Moulin Rouge, literally Moulin Rouge is my gold standard for jukebox musicals. So this show was very similar in the sense of glitter and glam and spectacular, and not quite as much as Moulin Rouge, but it reminded me a lot of it.
Yeah.
I just was comparing it the whole time.
Yeah. And I've never seen Moulin Rouge or seen a jukebox musical like that
which
before.
you need to see.
I know.
Moulin
I
Rouge
haven't
is
seen
so
any of those,
good.
so I didn't really have anything like to expect. But the last show, like I said earlier, that I've seen is Hadestown, and I could watch that over and over and over and over again and still get shocked at the ending every time, even though I know the ending. But and Juliet, it was super fun, super entertaining. I definitely think it's like a show that like am okay with just seeing once. I might see it again
Yeah.
in the future because it was a lot of
A
fun
couple
and
years
funny.
down the line.
But it's
Yeah.
definitely not one that I would go out of my way to like try and see every single time. You know what I mean? But I really
every time
liked
it comes into town. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. It definitely it didn't knock anything out of my top 5
Oh yeah,
by any
no,
means.
me neither.
I had a great time. It was so fun and enjoyable. But yeah, like we've said before, it doesn't, the plot is just kind of until, the last 20 minutes of the show, and then you kind of start to put things together. But then, you're like, oh, that's actually really cool. He did that, sweet. But again, it's, it is not a Hades Town.
Yeah, no.
It is not a Moulin Rouge. It is not a Hamilton.
Yeah.
It is not a Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
It is not Up with Those Bad Boys.
Yes. It's not going to be one that like people are talking about forever and ever and ever and ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's good.
It's very rom-com musical.
Yes.
So if you're just you want something light, you want something funny that's going to make you smile, this show is for you.
yeah.
If you want something that has more depth to it, this ain't going to be it.
I agree. So what would you rate it out of 5 stars?
I gave it a 3.
Yeah.
Which could almost be a little bit generous, I feel like.
I was going to say, I was going to give it a 3 out of 5, 3.5 out of 5. I liked it, but I didn't, like I said earlier, I didn't leave that show being like, I have to go see it again. Whereas like Hades Town, I'm like, when can I see it again? You know what I mean?
Right. And it's like those shows, there's so much happening in those shows that you need to see it again to fully understand what's happening. Also, when there's like no actual dialogue and it's all being sung for those type of those shows, you need to see it multiple times to get the full story.
Absolutely.
This show, you don't need to do that.
Absolutely.
It's very simple. It's very anybody can go and watch it and follow along, be entertained, and then never see it again.
Absolutely.
Or wait years. See it again and be like, oh yeah, this was a really fun, entertaining show. I had fun.
Well, and I will say too, I do feel like some of the songs and mashups that they did, I definitely think that they're better than some of the originals. like the original songs that came out by the pop artists. You know what I mean? Like like the opening song, the Hit Me Baby One More Time. Like, okay, that was phenomenal. Like the way that they did that, it was so good. Like who would have thought that you could sing it in a Broadway? You know what I mean? Like I definitely think that like the soundtrack is something I'll definitely go back to all the time.
I've been listening to it.
You know what I mean?
Lot.
Like that, it's a fun soundtrack. You know what I mean? But I don't think I need to like go and sit and watch it 12 times. But some people might. That might be their jam. I would go. The choreography
and
was
if that's
phenomenal.
your jam, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
We fully support you.
Fully support it.
You love what you love, and that's totally cool.
Yes. Yes.
But I've definitely been listening to the soundtrack since we've gone, and it is really fun. And I'm with you, like, and I this is the same way when I used to watch Glee. I would prefer the Glee version over the original version all the time.
Me too.
So
me too.
And it's that's the only way I know this song.
Super out of left field, but did you see that Jonathan Groff, who plays Jesse St. James, and Darren Criss, who plays Blaine Warbler, are up for Tonys this year in the same category?
Yes.
So excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for both of them.
I think I actually know. I know. I think I actually know every single person that's up for a Tony this year.
I love that.
Because they released it yesterday, 2 days ago or something.
Yes.
The people, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And I was like, because isn't Jeremy Jordan up for one too?
Probably. I haven't looked very much, but I'm on like the Glee side of TikTok right now. So everything.
So they're all like, look at our guys.
I think he's trying to tell me I need to rewatch Glee.
Yes.
Is he up for one? Is Jeremy Jordan up for one?
Yeah, Jeremy Jordan is up for one. Yeah, Darren Criss, Jonathan Groff, Jeremy Jordan, Tom Francis from Sunset Boulevard. Have you seen clips of him?
No, I don't know if I have.
I would not mind seeing that show. That looks like really cool.
Yeah.
So I just know of him from that. And then Andrew Durand. I don't know
Durand?
if I'm saying that right. Yeah, that's probably it.
I recognize that name, Andrew Durand.
I just recognize him from the Corn musical,
The Shucked.
Shucked, which I haven't seen,
Neither
but
way,
he
yeah.
was in that. And then this other person, James Monroe Iglehart. I don't know who that is, but it's a Louis Armstrong musical.
Interesting.
So I recognize 5 out of the 6 actors
Love
that
them.
are up for a leading role in a musical. So, but yeah,
Love that.
I love those 3
love
guys,
that.
Darren, Jonathan, and Jeremy.
I
I love
know.
all 3 of them so much.
I'll be sad if
gonna be
neither of
harder.
them win.
Yeah.
The odds are
I
looking
don't know.
very
I
good,
could-
though.
Yeah, but I could also see Tom Francis
Really?
winning for Sunset Boulevard
Fair.
because, yeah, I've seen him all over
Yeah.
the place, and Sunset Boulevard is apparently phenomenal.
Oh,
so.
man.
But
Anywho, yeah.
any whoozle.
I was going to say,
Okay.
you want to talk about favorite scene? And then we have a
Yeah.
fun little game that we're going to play.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know we've mentioned this already so many times before, but my favorite moment was Romeo coming
Yeah.
back to life. It was just so much fun.
was funny.
Like what was going on? Anne was doing something
Mm-hmm.
and Shakespeare got the quill back and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna fix this,"
Mm-hmm.
and he writes Romeo back to life. And it's just so funny I just love it. And he's like, at one point in the song, he says a line from the actual Romeo and Juliet. Like, I forget what it is.
I don't remember
Romeo, oh Romeo, something like
Yeah.
that. And Juliet's like, "Romeo, you're alive? I'm alive, and I'm coming back from my wife." I just thought it was so funny.
It's so funny.
And then she's like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, I thought it was so
So-
funny. And that song, I mean, it was
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah, that song's one of my
I
favorite.
also really loved that. But probably, I don't know, the scene that I probably had the most like fun and enjoyed the most was the Eye of the Tiger scene. Just the choreography. I've seen that on
Yeah, you were ready
TikTok
for it.
so many times. I started dancing along with it. I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna get it. And then the confetti, it was just so fun. I don't know. It was just
Yeah.
a
We knew it. We knew it from the very beginning. We're like,
we kept seeing confetti fall down from the sky, and we were like,
oh, there's gonna be confetti at the end of this.
Okay, great.
Which another comparison to Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
They do the same thing.
Oh, I love that.
But yeah, that's always
it was all
fun.
super fun. I mean, I was dancing it as we walked out of the theater, and I tried to get you to do it, but you weren't quite there. But it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Hey, we were on a mission to try and get sushi.
Yeah,
and
we
then
were,
couldn't,
and then we
so-
couldn't. It was so sad.
Because they were closed.
Skyline
which was
for the
very
win, though.
rude. Yeah. Oh, delicious.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
So good.
Yeah. The show was super good, and I'm super thankful that we had that weekend and we got to do that together.
Oh my gosh.
We'll have to do it again
That
really
weekend.
soon.
Yeah. Yeah, that weekend was such a blast.
Yes.
And such a surprise.
Yeah,
And it
absolutely.
was just like awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So,
Absolutely. And
we had so much fun.
we did. We for sure did. And I just want to preface to, like, we know the last 2 episodes have been super crazy long. Probably from
Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. But we do want to say, like, hopefully the next few episodes are not going to be as long. Because
This one definitely won't be.
Yes.
The next one,
it might be a little
I don't
longer.
know.
It shouldn't be
No,
that.
one could be long too.
But we're not, like, pushing a bunch of things together to try to do that. So I just want you all to know, like, we appreciate you listening through the whole 2 hours if you are
Yeah,
doing that.
we
But not every
really
episode
do.
is going to be
Yeah.
that long. Sometimes it's only going to be
No.
a short amount of time. But we want, with something that we do want to do every episode, and we've talked about this, is having a fun game that gets us into our next episode, right? And so we have a fun little game that we want to play with you all before our next episode. Do you want to explain what it is, Grace?
Yep. Yeah, so it's called Shadow Court Superlatives. So think high school yearbook meets Deadly Fae Assassins, we're handing out awards to the characters of Queen of Shadows based on their most iconic, chaotic, or downright hilarious moments.
Yes, we've got everything from most likely to burn down a city to best glow up. Because in this book, the drama is high, the eyeliner is sharp, and so are the daggers.
Yeah, so this is just supposed to get y'all pumped up for the next episode, okay? So let's kick things off with superlative number 1. Most likely to burn down a city on purpose.
Yes. I feel like the super obvious one is Aileen. I mean, she's literally done it already. And smiled while doing it. Like, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Honestly, yeah. For sure Aileen, but I could totally see Manon doing this also.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she would for sure burn anything to the ground.
Oh, yes. So, I mean, she doesn't.
Like those two are the hard curl.
They for sure.
Core.
They would for sure set an entire city on fire and smile and walk away. I mean, they both pretty much have.
Exactly.
No spoilers alert. Yeah. We're talking about it more next time.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2. Oh, man. Most likely to betray you and still make you thank them. There's a really obvious one for this one.
I mean, Arabin.
Yeah. It's annoying.
Good riddance.
He is,
you know?
Yeah, right. He is the queen of gaslighting, or gatekeeping, and he pretty much manipulates everybody into doing what he wants anyway.
Yeah, he does.
He for sure does. He needs to go.
Yeah, goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, sir.
We'd like to throw him off a cliff.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so superlative number 3, best glow up.
Yes.
Who do we think here?
Trying to think. I mean, I feel like, honestly, Manon. I think she has had the best, because the last time we talked, I was like, oh my gosh, what's the point of this character? And then Queen of Shadows, we'll get into it more the next episode, but she just is a force to reckon with. I feel like that is like a really good
I 100% agree.
But also too, Lysandra, I mean, her character and as a whole too was a really good, I think she's gone through a lot just in that one book. I mean, we didn't know her really much before this book too.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree with Manon, and I would even debate Aiden a little bit. Because I feel like, before we didn't know a whole lot about him.
I could agree.
He was this prick.
Yeah.
And then
And now he's like a sweetheart.
Then we see some true colors, and now he's just a sweet
boy.
Beautiful man.
Yes, right.
But,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, so.
Okay, number 4 is most likely to die for the aesthetic.
Yeah. Again, I could see multiple people in this role
too.
Here. I almost feel like I want to say Rowan, honestly.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Just for the drama?
Just for the drama.
The drama? I was going to say.
I mean, maybe less likely now, but towards the beginning, I feel like more so.
I was going to say.
Now he's got some stuff he doesn't want to.
My mind is set on Manon.
Yeah, that is for sure a good one.
Without giving too many spoilers, most likely to die for the aesthetic, Caltaine, period blank. She put on a show, and we'll talk more about that later.
Did.
That's for
she
sure.
Sure did.
She for sure. Yeah.
She was a pretty wild glow up too, actually.
Agreed. We didn't hear about her for a while.
I can't wait to
dive into this.
I can't wait
know.
Yeah, that's gonna be wild.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Number 5, best animal companion.
I mean, I feel like the obvious one is Abraxas. Like, that's super obvious.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the only other option is Rowan when he's in his owl.
Or Lysandra when she is switching to. But
oh, right.
I mean, I feel like Abraxas has got to win. I mean, no matter what.
Again.
Also, glow up. It's okay. We already said this whole episode's a spoiler, so.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I don't know if I'd want to be companions with her though. It's a little scary.
Yeah.
But anywho,
Right, number
I mean, she would
6.
protect you.
Oh,
but-
yes, she would. Number 6 is most emotionally unavailable and still hot. My mind goes straight to Kale. Like, I feel like he is just declining in the worst way possible.
He's super emotionally unavailable. He's dealing with some he's still pining over Aelin slash Selena when, they were together. That's who she was. And like, but then he's got this stuff with
Nessarin.
that other girl from the he's got that stuff going on. And he's just a hot mess, honestly.
I 100% agree.
So I do feel like he is for sure emotionally unavailable. And I would also argue this has changed a little bit, but like at the beginning of like Air of Fire, Rowan was emotionally unavailable, I feel like.
That's fair.
Because he was very like this and
yeah, but their story blossoms into.
Oh, of course, yeah, I know.
At the beginning, he was very much. But I also think he was just.
Grows.
I think he was really just trying to have like just professional boundaries. But then when they have their moment where they're the Chronom or whatever, they're from that moment on, it's like
they evolve.
yes, absolutely.
Oh, we're gonna dive in. So
I know it's gonna be so good.
Okay. Oh, is this me?
Yeah, number 7.
Okay. Number 7, most likely to monologue before killing you. I would say Adian.
Yeah, Adian will talk you through it before he's like...
I feel like he's just a goofball like that also.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he would totally say something just crazy, but also funny before he kills you, you know?
I mean, Arabin also did that, you know what I mean? Like, he was for sure like, I'm going to walk you through this and then I'm going to kill you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or try to figure out a plan to betray, but also Aelin, she's going to talk you through it and be like, sorry, you're dead now,
That's true. Yeah, I mean,
oh my goodness.
She's just fierce, so.
All right, number 8. Most improved since book 1. Mine's Manon.
I mean,
Aelin.
Down.
Really?
Yeah.
I could agree.
Those are. I feel like those are two. Yeah, those are good. Manon and Aelin.
Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah.
Manon is. I think she's going to be a force to reckon with. I do think Aelin has grown a lot, and she has become a lot of.
She's finally
who she is.
Accepted herself.
Exactly, and I will say she has grown a lot because of that. But in general, like, we went from not knowing who this lady is and only hearing a little bit about her to like, okay, you're doing things.
But also, I also thought of Dorian a little bit.
I could agree with that.
Because, in the first book, he's just very much, he I just feel like he improves a lot and finally starts to stand up and fight for what he believes in and stuff. And
100%.
And then we'll talk about more of that next time. What happens with him? So, yeah. Number 9, most likely to start a girl gang.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Manon is the easiest.
I mean, Manon's already in a girl gang
because she got the 13. Like, I feel like that's super easy.
She already won.
Yeah.
I feel like it's her because
it's got to be her.
Yeah.
And she's a pretty BA about it, too.
She for sure is.
All right.
Seriously,
and
they're hardcore.
They are. It's crazy. And then number 10, the last one, is most likely to die, but not stay dead.
Oh.
Like, what? Literally everyone? Like...
Everyone? Yeah.
Like, the entire group.
God. The amount of times... that happened in like ACOTAR.
Oh my god! Don't remind me.
Dead. Okay. Oh wait, no, they're not. Oh wait, yeah, no.
What? Well, I mean, there's more that we'll talk about in this next episode, but like, being underground and that whole scene with Rowan and Adian, like fighting off all these Valg creatures, like he literally spoiler alert, almost dies, but then doesn't. And like, I feel like every single character
just
in
wild.
this book could literally probably die and come back to life.
They're all walking a very thin line.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
goodness.
100% agree. Pretty much everyone.
Yes, right.
Anybody. So.
Yeah.
Or like Dorian. Like we for sure thought he would die. You know?
Yeah, right?
Anyway.
Or plot twist, the king. What if he comes back to life? Plot twist. Sorry, big spoiler alert.
Yeah, guys, but like,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, well, we're gonna say that at the beginning of every episode because we're you know,
Yes.
these books have been out for a long time, so if you don't know, sorry, you know.
Yes,
I don't know.
absolutely.
Anyway, okay, so, all right, so let us know if we missed any Shadow Court superlatives. Shoot us a message, DM us, whatever, respond to our TikToks, you know, let us know. Who would you have included and what are their superlatives?
Yeah, or even if you have different thoughts than what we put, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, we want to hear it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, well, friends, that's our take on Anne Juliet. We had such a blast seeing it and even more fun breaking it down with you.
Absolutely. And if you enjoyed hanging out with us today, be sure to follow and subscribe and leave us a review. It helps other story lovers find our show.
Until next time, keep dreaming, keep telling stories, and we'll see you real soon.